Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in and I'm going to rig up the back. Let's hide his body for a moment. I'm going to hide my skeleton for a moment. If I go in here, I'll quickly create a polygon cube, and I'll just make this a little bit bigger so we can see it, and I'll hit F. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to make a controller object that's kind of square. I like to break up my shape so I don't have just circles all over the place. And I'm going to go to Create, and I'm going to go to Curve Tools, EP Curve Tool. Remember, you can use just a circle for this, but this is just something cool, one linear. Go in here, and if I hold down V while I'm doing this, I can go in and trace out the shape of the cube. Let's see if I do this. Okay, and I hit enter, boop, and I'll hit 5 so you can see this. It looks like I have the cube selected, but I actually have made a curve cube, or I call them C-box. Okay, and if I'm really clever, now I can delete that. If I'm really clever, I can go down here to my script editor. Come on, script editor. And you can see right there the curve, and you can see all this information. That information right there, that's how to make the box, or that's how Maya made the box. And if I go in here and I say save script to shelf, and I call it C-box, and I save it as a mill script, whoop, there it is. Now I got a little button, and whenever I want to make one of these boxes, I just hit the button. Okay, so let's get back up here. Let's bring in the skeleton. And so let's bring in the C-box. I'll just hold down V, and I'm going to put one right at the, I can place one right at the hips here, and I'll just go in and, let's go in and make it bigger. I'll bring in the body for a moment. Just wanted something that's easy to select from all angles. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to make a duplicate, and I typically make the duplicate, and let's move tool, hold down V, and I'll pop that one up here. But you can do this a couple different ways. You can have a couple of controllers in here, but I'm going to do something a little bit weird and see what I think of that. Okay, I'm going to move the pivot point so it's basically a curve 2, or at bone 1, and then there's bone 2. Okay, and let's name these. Let's call this one shoulder underscore control. Okay, and then this one here, I'm going to call that hip underscore control. Okay, and I'm just going to take the both of them and I'm going to freeze the transformations. Okay, and then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to select the pelvis joint, and I'm going to do a parent constraint. Okay, I'm going to grab the shoulder control, and I'm going to grab back 1, and I'm going to do a parent constraint. And then, actually something just occurred to me I've never thought of before. No, I won't do it. I'm just going to go in here, and I'd like it so when I rotate this joint rotates as well. Okay, and I pretty much want them to be identical. The back isn't going to move too much, so I figure I can get away with this. I'm going to go into Window, General Editors, Connection Editor, and I'll load up this back joint. Boop. I'll load up that back joint, and I go looking for the rotate, and there's rotate right there. And then I go over to this one, and I find rotate sitting right there. Boom, they're hooked up. I can close it. So now, when I take this thing and I rotate it, you're going to see that the other joint rotates as well, and I get a nice bit of flexibility in that. Like I said, I could break that up so I could have a constraint for one back joint there, or one back controller there, another back controller there, however you want to do it. Okay, but this one here is kind of nice and pleasant, and there. And there's still a rotation in that. Let's just zero that out. And I got hip control, so my hips move independently on my back. But you'll see now that if I try to move these things around, I'm typically just going to rotate these things. There's something wrong. There's a joint there. It's not moving. That's the root joint. And that root joint needs a controller. So I'm just going to go in here to create NURBS primitives circle. And this circle, I'm going to go and hold down V, and I'll place it right there. Just make it bigger so it's easier to see and select. Okay, cool. And I'm going to go and freeze the transformations, kill the history. We're going to name this one upper body underscore control. Great. And I'm going to grab that root joint as well. So I've got the controller selected first, then the root joint, and I'm going to give that a parent constraint. Oh, I just realized something. Let's undo that. I have noticed that I don't like the pivot point right here on the root. I like the pivot point so it is squarely between the hips. Okay, there, that's what I wanted. And then I'll try this parent constraint again. Boop, parent, great. And I'm going to grab the hip controllers, shoulder controllers, and then grab the upper body last, and I'll hit P. And I will then check it out. So now you'll see that when I take this upper body controller, I move both controllers at the same time. And right there I've got some potential weighting issues, but I can go in here and bend this. Definitely weighting issues right in here. And I'll have independent shoulder movement and independent hip movement. Okay, and that's what I wanted right there. Simple forward kinematic back controls. Okay, I tend to like IK stuff, but I find when you're first learning how to make controllers for a back, this is the simplest one. Let's do the neck too, because we're here at the same time. And I'll do this one separate this time. So I'll go in here, NURBS, and circle, and I'll quickly pop that up here. Let's make that bigger. Okay, and I'll rotate that one a little bit. Let's just see if I can make it fit to the body a bit more. Yeah, fine. And make a duplicate, and I'll hold down V, and I'll put this one here. Okay, I'll make another duplicate, and I'll put this one here. Or actually, let's not do it that way. Let's do it like this. Okay, great. So I grab these two controllers. Let's delete their history and freeze their transformations. I'm just going to call this one here neck underscore control, say 1. And this one here, neck underscore control 2. Okay, great. And I can just grab this one, grab that joint, and I'll just go constrain, parent. This one here, that one there, G. And then let's go to the right view. And maybe for the head here, let's do something a little bit different. Let's go into the curve tool, CV curve tool, and I'll just kind of try to draw out something that is easy to select from all angles. Almost looks like the shape of his hair. Okay, great. And let's take the pivot point for this. And I'll just snap it there to that joint. This is going to be my head underscore control. Done. And if I select this control, grab that joint, and I go constrain, parent constraint, boom, we got all these things set up. Middle click, drag and drop, middle click, drag and, oh you bastard, middle click, drag and drop. And then if I grab the neck control, and I select the body control, and I hit P, there, done. I could also make controls for my clavicles too, but what are we at, 8 minutes? To go in and make the arm controls. I think this time around I might do the arm controls a little bit differently. I might do some forward kinematic controls. Usually it always seems to me that people have issues with making good forward kinematic controls. And I should do that on the next video, so I'll stop here.